Good afternoon, guys. My name is Gwenly. Um, Welcome back to the Pure Goddess channel. I hope everyone's doing well on this Friday afternoon. Um, I am here by the water, by the river. I have it right in front of me, the view, and it's really nice to be surrounded by nature. Very peaceful and quiet. And yeah, I just feel very thankful at the moment. Oh, Lord, I need to sneeze. I hope everyone's doing well. I'm sure you guys have heard about the fires in the state of California and the chaos and how many people have lost their homes. All of this is how would I explain it? God has something to do with this. He's showing us that he is coming, and he is showing us that we need to repent and to bring him into our hearts, Jesus Christ, into our hearts, and live a life, a righteous life, and to live a life with him in it, right? Us living in this world, I am not from this world, but the human beings here on this earth, a lot of people have and continue to show that the material things are important, and with that comes pride and ego, thinking we are the gods, right? Because we are providing for ourselves, because we are successful, because we have all these material wealth, material things, all these brand names. So we are worth a lot, right? And what is important to know is that none of these things matter. It is important to make money to support yourself and your family, to have your basic needs. But this is a test. This is a sign. This is God talking, God speaking, that He is the one. He is the God who could take and give, take everything away and also give anything that you want, that you are asking Him for, by being obedient, by being kind, by having a kind heart, focusing on the heart more than the outside, right? How you treat people, the thoughts you have in your head, the selflessness you have, how you put people first, how you support others in your life. And all these things are free. A lot of it takes time, energy, being open hearted, right? Being kind, compassionate, understanding, non-judgment, taking that pride and ego out of things, right? Having a reason, having a purpose on why, having a fruitful life within you and your family and your environment and your life, right? There's no meaning in having material things if you don't have all these things within you, within your family, having morals and in character, and there is no purpose if you don't have those things. We see it everywhere, and we've seen it for a long time, right? In movies and shows and people in our lives who have gained and lost, right? What material things do to them if they don't have. And if they don't show, especially if they don't show to others and to themselves and put God first, because He is the only one. He comes before everything and everyone. He comes before our parents, before our kids, before our jobs, before anything and everyone. Because He is so powerful. He created this world. He created everything, and to not have Him in our lives every day, that's not good. And these wildfires, they could say that it was arson. They could say that it was caused by this or that, intentionally or unintentionally, right? trying to find proof, God, spirits, spiritual world it's not scientifically proven. It doesn't have to be proven with facts. It's spiritual. And this is God speaking. This is him giving the people another chance on coming back to him, having him, making God, having him come into our lives every day, having him in our lives. And living life in a godly manner, in a righteous, holy manner. Putting our perspectives in what's important. And God has to do these things, has to make big things happen that aren't too good, right? It's a lot of sadness and loss. He has to show us what he's capable of and the type of God that he is merciful and he is forgiving. He is our Father, and he is always here for us. Without him, we are nothing. And this is a sign that he's showing us that without him, we are nothing. Without your fancy cars and your fancy homes and, multi-million-dollar homes or cars or, art pieces, anything that was of value to you materially, it was gone. It's gone. It was destroyed in the fire, right? And things like this have to happen. Especially when it's worldwide news, nationwide news. He has to make a big impact because the return is getting very close and the doors are closing. The doors are closing. Either people are going to accept Jesus Christ into their life or not. And he's getting very close to shutting that door. And I've been struggling with this as well in my own life, but it's easier when you have an easier view and outlook on situations when it's not happening to you, right? Online, I could see so many messages, like on people being interviewed from newscasts, news anchors, and they're asking the people that have lost their homes, how do you feel, especially if their next door neighbor's home is fine, right? The fire didn't impact them, didn't damage their property, didn't burn down their property, but theirs did. How do you feel? And a lot of times it's not the right time to ask those questions, but we understand why the news reporters are doing it, right? Because we are not all there. We want to see what's going on. And people have free will to participate, right? And this gentleman was very, very upset. You know, he was just very mad and he didn't want to be on camera anymore. Why did, you know, the news anchor asked, why, how do you feel that your neighbor's house is still standing and yours isn't? Yours is ashes, it's to the ground. And he said, because God saved their home and God didn't save mine. You know, he's judging himself at that moment. Like, he's not good enough for God. And I couldn't imagine losing my home. I can't imagine it because I'm going through financial struggles right now and I'm very close to losing my home. And I can relate to a certain point, right? I have a different circumstance than these people that have lost their home, you know? And I went into the comments and, you know, a lot of people were saying, you know, you have to be thankful that you're still alive. Thank God that you are still alive. Nothing happened to you. You're still alive. You made it out of the fire, right? Thank God for your life. And, you know, sometimes we can't find the right words to say. And it could come out in a very selfish way. And it could be thrown at us. Do you still have a home? Yes, I do. Okay, then, you know, be quiet. You know, easily. I mean, we see it every day online. And, you know, people are so fast nowadays, especially this new generation. People are so fast to act and say and speak instead of, you know, listening first and understanding and hearing and comprehending and, you know, trying to understand that person and being civil. And it's really hard to accept, you know, we're in a circumstance and we don't know how to get out of it. We might lose our home. The stress comes. The stress, you know, creeps up. The stress, you start freaking out, right? Your nervous system starts acting out. You're stressed and, you know, you either are under eating, overeating, you know, everything is just out of alignment. And, you know, in these times you have to pray harder and talk to God. And it's, you know, you talk to him, you yell, you cry to him, why you know, talk to him. And with you being angry, upset, stressed, depressed, anxious, scared, still have communication with him, right? And that's just an example of having God in your life, you know? It's that easy. Instead of, I've always been a lonely person, a person that keeps to themselves, because most of my life I've never related to anyone. From anything, friends, lovers, family. I've never related to anyone. I've tried, and I've had my times where I've spoken about my situation or whatever I was going through, and they were there for me in those moments, but it wasn't real. And you know, it's important to heal from attachment, from being like not needy, but just being attached to people, depending on them. I am healing from these things, and I will be starting therapy soon. You know, because over the years of my, you know, my whole life, I've learned to deal with it on my own, not speak about it, literally not speak about it, just to myself. But that's not healthy, you know. But when you don't have people that you could confide in, people that are there for you authentically, it's best to just keep it to yourself, honestly, realistically speaking, right? And that becomes unhealthy over time. You shut yourself off to the world, to society, right? And that was me. But still having these people in my life, especially family, exes, ex-friends, who I believed, you know, it was like partial relationships, because it wasn't authentic relationships. They weren't there for me 100%, not even 50%, you know. And I am a seer. I see through the bullshit. I see if you're real or you're fake. I see if you're being genuine or not. I see if you have an agenda or don't. You know, I see it all. You can't lie to me. You can't manipulate, you know. And that took a very long time, because yes, I used to be more naive, you know. I didn't have a strong discernment before. I wasn't awake, you know, spiritually awake, until I had my big spiritual awakening in 2021. And everyone has a journey. You know, some people are successful first, and then they go through whatever they have to go through. I've gone through so much in my life that I'm gonna start being more financially successful, right? So there's different stories, and just because you have this doesn't mean you've already gone through this, you know. For example, like the fires, so many celebrities or people that are known out there, who have wealth, who are rich, you know, a lot of them like haven't had, they're not living with God and Jesus, with Jesus Christ in their heart, right? They're not living a godly life, where they have God in their life, Jesus Christ. They talk, they pray to him, you know, and myself with little to nothing, you know, on my name, I feel full, you know, even though I'm going through some circumstances. Some days are really rough for me. My faith is very thin, but I still hold on. I hold on, and I will never let go, because there's no love like the love of God. There is no love, there's no sanctuary, no support, no comfort, no peace as the love of God. You know, him being in your life every day, every second of every day. And that was just a sign from God. You know, that was something that God had to do in order for people to wake up from their Hollywood life. Like Hollywood life, right? Priorities were not aligned. And you know, if it's not godly, if it's not like living a godly life in a spiritual sense, you're living the way of the devil, right? It's just straightforward. You're either this or that. You could make 1,000 excuses, you know. And you know, I had thank the Lord, I had I would say a very toxic type of attachment. You know, when it comes to being attached to people, it took me a very long time to learn and discern and heal from that. And even though I've taken majority of the people out of my life who I was attached to from family for all my life, who have hurt, lied, betrayed, manipulated, abused, all of the above, you know, they were the ones who mirrored all their insecurities onto me, gave me all their baggage, emotional baggage, trauma baggage, anything, everything. They gave it to me, and I held that for the longest time until I let them go, until I shut them out of my life, right? God was speaking to me for so long to let them go, and I couldn't. All of last year, it was on and off, on and off, on and off. And I think the year before that, half of 2023, the last half, on and off, right? And I still couldn't let go, you know. I saw truths. I saw the truth I've always seen the truth, you know, and most of my life growing up, I've accepted it, you know, like this is, you know, when you're young and it's not naive, but just you're pure, you know, you haven't gotten hurt by like the outside world, by society, just being in your family, especially being an introvert, a homebody, and having all these attacks from like your own family, this hate, this envy. You know, I didn't start working until I was 19 years old because I was an immigrant before. Before then, I couldn't work. I've never, I started driving in 2022. You know, I've always loved the bus and biking and going on the train, and you know, until I had my son, and like, you know, I kind of needed a car. I didn't need it, but it was easier, right? And you know, I was very content with like the basic needs, and I was content, right? And I know my circumstances didn't allow for me to gain more material stuff, because of, you know, being a illegal immigrant, having only my visa, now having my green card and able to apply for my citizenship in the next few months. I was content, you know, because honestly, I didn't care what others thought or what people thought, society, how they, I never cared, excuse me, for those things. And, you know, my family being the biggest bullies, my own mother being the biggest bully of my life, and, always putting me down, never wanted me to, even with my circumstances, never encouraged me to do anything in my life. And when I was encouraged, when I did enjoy and have a passion for things, always tried to put me down, like, you just can't do it because you are not able to work, or whatever excuse that she gave me. It's not possible. Always put me down as a child, as a teen, and as an adult, until they were removed from my life, until I took them out of my life, right? So with so many negativity, with so much hate and envy, with so much lack of love and respect and boundaries, and lack of, you know, just injustice, you know, lack of compassion, of kindness, um, taking everything away from me, that doesn't cost anything, but it gives value to a person. Trying to literally on purpose take everything from me, my essence, who I am, as since I was very young, you start believing it, and you start thinking, this is who I am, this is my reality. You know, always being at home, living at home, and I left my home at a very early age, and I got into a serious relationship because I was just tired of my home, you know, and I was trying to literally run from my own mother, who didn't bring me peace. like at all. Nothing good. And always put my brother against me. He was the favorite child. In front of me, rubbing it on my face like, oh, your brother did this and you're nothing. Your brother's going to school, even though he's 6 years younger than me. Your brother's going to college, and once he graduates with a bachelor's, like, he's gonna be successful and buy me everything I want type of energy. And I haven't done nothing. Or, like making me feel like I was like dirt. Like I was just nothing. And this was in 2021 when I moved back to her house with my newborn, my 3-month-old boy, because I was getting out of a narcissistic relationship. I left. I had to leave. I had to run from that because it was gonna turn real bad if I didn't leave at that moment. I was guided to leave at that moment. And always just being against everyone, being against me for no reason. I never did anything to deserve it. I've had so much unfairness and injustice done to me from my own family, so dealing with bullies outside of home are nothing to me. Being talked about, being lied, my name lied to people, being talked about and lied on doesn't mean nothing. Yeah, it stings, it hurts sometimes. Especially when you're struggling and you're going through things and all you need is love and support from people, and you've never had that in your life. That's when it hurts and stings a little. But other than that, I've never given 2 F's of who talks about me and lies on me. And because they don't know me. If you knew me, you wouldn't be even thinking that way. No one ever got the chance to know me for who I really am. Nobody's ever wanted to really get to know me. Ever. There's always an intention, there's always a selfish reason why. The last guy I spoke to, we were trying to get to know each other a little bit, and it stopped, right? He changed. We met once in person, and he even said it. I am so protected that words just come out. The truth comes out even though they don't want to say it, right? Because everyone has their purpose, selfish reasons. That it's my energy. That's why they're attracted to me. That's why they want to get to know me more. It's my energy. And that's very selfish. Do you really want to get to know who I am, or it's my energy? How others see me, how the public sees me when I come into a room, come into a crowd, the attention I get, the interest, the love I get, the eyes I get on me. I may not be the most perfect looking person to whatever society says, but it's the attention, right? And I am so protective that people will tell on themselves. you know and a lot of people think that I'm not I'm quiet, I look naive, I'm shy. I am shy. I'm kind, I'm gullible. My discernment is very strong. I will notice every little thing, right? I'm very different. I am not from here, I'm telling you. And I try my hardest to be obedient to the Lord, because without these gifts, this strong discernment, I wouldn't have anything. God could take that away from me anytime he wants, if I'm not doing good by him. And I'm not perfect. I'm still learning, unlearning. And I just hope and try my best I can every day. Sometimes I could try harder, sometimes, in certain areas of my life. Right now, God has physically, I need to rest. I need to take it slow. I'm a person, because of how I grew up, I'm always on survival mode, always on the go, always like on panic, anxiety, high, very high anxiety and panic, and like, we need to get going. We need to do it now. Now. And that has put me in a lot of trouble, because I go off survival mode and like anxiety and fear, that rush, and I go for things. And there's a healthy way, and there's a healthier way, and then there's the more toxic, traumatic way. And that gets you into trouble a lot of the times. You make wrong decisions for that reason. And we need to learn how to heal that. And God has put me in this season to take it slow. It started Christmas week, I couldn't get out of bed. Thank God I had my everything for Christmas ready for my son, right? It's just me and my toddler. But I do everything, right? I was so much in physical pain that I couldn't do anything. Could barely, cook for us. And we had to order, from restaurants and things like that, which is fine. Manage, but a whole week after winter break, after January, I was still in pain, but I was more mobile. I was able to do things. I was able to take my son back to school, because they had their winter break. But from when it's crazy, the last day of like school for my son, the next day, that's when it all happened. From there until I took him back to school, I couldn't get out of bed. I was very like, it just, like, I couldn't move. And I am very stubborn. And yeah, I didn't listen to God. I didn't listen to the Lord that I need to slow down. You know, I had to keep working. You know, I had to get my bills paid, or I had to whatever, you know, and I just couldn't stop. And now, you know, I'm not doing much. My body needs to heal and rest. You know, I can't physically, I mean, I can do things, but it's either my body, I'm not at 100% capacity, or I'm getting sick, I'm not sleeping well. It's all these things, right? Because we need to rest. And like I'm telling you guys about the fires, God will make something happen where you need to sit your ass down and reflect. And you know, with this, it's much bigger, right? Accept Jesus Christ into your life. Live in a way that is accepting, righteous, justified way of living, you know, for him to be in every part of your life every single day. And I'm still learning these things as well. You know, it's a big lesson for people who don't have this way of living. And yeah. For me is, you know, I'm gonna start therapy soon. And you know, for me it's unlearning the toxic things I grew up learning, and who I was raised by, and you know, all these toxic karmic things that are not good. And you know, these things that were put on to me, like, you're not enough, you're not good enough, you're not worthy of anything, your worth is nothing. Things I'm struggling with, right, as an adult, because of the parents, the mother that I had, the stepfather I had, my sibling, you know, my family from my mom's side, how I was portrayed to be when it wasn't the truth. It was how my mother portrayed me to be. And I believed it, right? Because she's my mother. Like, you're telling me I'm this, so I'm this. As a young girl, as a young teen, you're gonna believe, right? Never felt protected my whole life. So unlearning these things, because I know that's not my truth. I know who I am, and I struggle with like with believing in myself. And you know, I've been healing throughout my awakening since 2021. I've been healing since I've taken my family out of my life. I've been healing more, and it's more of clarity that this is who I am. And you know, throughout the years, it's like in and out of this reality and this, like, what my family portrays me to be, what they tell me I am my whole life, and becoming stronger and stronger and seeing the truth, right? Thank you, Lord, seeing the truth, because it's like I've been in this fogginess, illusioned by my own family of who they want me to be. Nothing, worthless. Why? So they could gain all my energy and try to have my destiny and rip and take everything I have from myself that the Lord has gifted me. I am the black sheep, right? I am the one who is gonna speak and say the truth, who is the truth, who will do things the right way, who will put people in their place, like as family members, who will say the truth. And my family has always been the opposite. And they've always, especially my own mother, portrayed, she's acted like me. You guys, my own mother. It took me so long. I've been brainwashed by my own mother. Like, how can my mother, you know, I have a 3-year-old who will be 4 soon. But it's astonishing to me of how can my own mother do this to me? Want to be me, throw me to the wolves, nobody's ever talked so much shit, betrayed me, talked so negative, and made me look so bad in my life other than my mother and my ex. But my mother takes the win because she is my mother. She's been, you know, with me my whole life. And it's just, when I became a mom, that's when my eyes really opened. Like, I really saw the truth, because you carry a child for 9 months or less. You know, everything emotionally, mentally, physically, everything is with that child, you know. And the love you have for your children, and she was not like that, you know. How just imagining everything she's done to me, I could never ever, even for a second, I thought about, I could never do that to my own son. And how could she do that to me, you know? The worst person in my life who has hurt me. How is it possible? You know, and it's just like I've minimized it for her in a sense, and this is years ongoing. Why have you hurt me, or why did you do this to me? Why, whatever, right? Little scenarios, I make it, you know. Throughout the years, if you try to talk to her, it's like she's ignoring you and watching television, you know, like non-talkative. So most of my communication was always text message, even if I'm in the next room, text messages. And, you know, I would tell her, why, in this situation, why would you do this? Or why are you still speaking to this person who their partner has hurt me, or whatever, a family friend, right? And there's no accountability, no excuse, no reasoning, no apologies, nothing. She is like very, very karmic, right? She doesn't deserve to be a mother, because it's not about the qualities, but she could have created a monster out of me. But I am so blessed by God. I've let Jesus Christ into my life, into my heart. I have a bigger purpose. This is normal for chosen beings, for chosen ones, for people that are here to make a difference in this world. We are picked by God before we were even born. We are sent to families like these, karmic families, for these reasons. You know, we have to be built and go through so much shit. So much. Like, if you tell someone your life story, it would take a very long time to tell them, and for them to even believe that you're speaking the truth because of how much you've gone through. Like, majority of the people, they wouldn't even, not even 1/3 of the things I've gone through with anybody in my life, they would not even get out of it. They would like give up right away. That's how strong I am. And it's all thanks to the Most High. I've always had, even before I was awakened, I've always had a mustard seed of faith. I've always talked to someone in the spirit realm, because I've always known when I was a little girl, it was more heightened for me. And I would talk to angels, I would talk to spirit beings, and that's my refuge. That was my refuge my whole life, in my own bedroom with the door closed. That was my happy place, because I had my imaginary friends with me. I had my angels, I had my ancestors, I had someone to protect me, I had God. I felt that love all my life. You know, I've been a karmic too, and I've gone through a lot of lessons and learned a lot because of the way I was raised, of the low vibrational things that were around me, and me giving into it too. I've always had faith, a mustard seed of faith. I've always believed. A lot of the times, I would only talk to God and my angels when I was really going through it. And they would take me out of it. I would be struggling and dealing with it and being in this traumatic experience, and I know I'm gonna get out of it because I have my guides, I have my angels, I have God with me, right? I have that faith. But then when I was okay, I would forget, and I wouldn't be in communication with them as much as I was when I was really going through it, right? And that's just what I had to learn the hard way, you guys. And I had to learn the hard way, and that's just, you know, that's what it is. I'm gonna cut the video. It's been almost an hour. You guys have a good day, and hopefully I get back on recording more videos. Bye.